Hello, you are perfect. And if you're wondering why my nails are painted, just look at the video previous to this video, um, and it'll explain. I'll explain what happened. So today we're going to be talking about breaks, taking breaks. And I know I made a bunch of videos previously talking about how important breaks are, but this isn't necessarily that. This is a little bit different. This is being able to afford to take breaks, to take certain breaks. Like, let's say you are addicted to smoking weed, or if you are addicted to drinking coffee. Let's say that, let's say that you don't even call this an addiction, okay? But you want to stop just because you want to prove yourself that you can stop, that you're not addicted. Well, there's a lot of things, especially, a really good example is drinking alcohol. That's a really good example. But let's say you want to stop doing something, right? Um, you have to be very conscious and aware that if it's something that you are doing almost ritually, daily, almost, maybe even weekly, um, once every other day, once every 3 days, once every 4 or 5 days, even. Um, I know I haven't mentioned it, so I'm going to mention it because it's bothering me once every 6 days. So if it's something that like you do like almost as frequently as once a week, you have to be aware that if you stop completely, especially if you do it daily, um, there's going to be like a couple of hiccups that you're going to have in your life throughout the time that you are stopping. So let's say that you are, another example, you're very dependent on coffee, and you have to have that cup in the morning every day before you go to work. So if you completely stop, um, you're going to feel very fatigued. You're going to feel like, why am I even doing this? It's getting me in trouble. I'm getting yelled at. I'm doing like, this is just an example. Same with alcohol. If you're very dependent on it and you stop, and you start feeling the withdrawals, and you're like feeling so unmotivated, and like, why are you even doing this? You should just go back to your comfort zone. um so this video is about learning that, or being aware more so, that there are breaks, that you get in life that you should use to take advantage of. You should take advantage of these breaks, here in the US, in, education schools. I mean, schools of, that teach education. That sounds so weird, but you know what I mean. Schools, um, they have this thing called spring break, right? Where you have a whole week off. And ironically, it's not even during the springtime. It's like the last week of winter. But they call it spring break, right? I mean, speaking to you in English, I'm pretty sure you know about what I am talking about here in the U.S. Um, I'm sure they have this other. Well, I'm not sure. I actually don't know. They have spring break in other places around the world, but um, you can use that time to stop. This is just if you go to school, right? Like, let's say you're this is such a specific example, but if you're smoking weed and you're still like in high school, for example, and you're trying to stop because it's not doing you any good, use spring break. Because a lot of people that are smoking weed and are going to high school, they're going to use spring break to get more messed up. Clearly, honestly, it's so obvious. But if you use that week to not, to completely just sober up, all of that time during school is going to go by a lot better. You're going to go through less withdrawals, and it's just going to go a lot better. Now, if you work and you are a heavy drinker and you get this time span, this window off, you can take advantage of that window. So whenever you're like messing up, it's going to be on your time. It's not going to be on somebody else's time. As weird as that sounds, you're not going to be, screwing someone over like your coworker or your manager, because you're trying to do something good for yourself. So yeah, just if you're watching this video and you're going through something that you want to stop, know that it may be more efficient to you know keep doing what you're doing, but be aware that you have to absolutely put a halt onto this whenever you get a chance, whenever you get a break, even if it's a 1 day break. You can use that to start. You can use that to be one of your first days of the week where you just don't do anything, where you stop drinking coffee, where you stop drinking alcohol, where you stop smoking weed, doing drugs, whatever it is. Those days where you don't do anything are actually very important to be able to stop, instead of feeding the addiction by using those rest days to consume more of what you are addicted to and depend on. It's not good. You should do the complete opposite, and it'll serve you very, very well. I think so, at least. Um, and yeah. What else? There was probably some other thing to talk about. Normally, whenever you're trying to stop something, oh yeah, I'm going to put a pin on that. I'm going to go back to that. But the other thing that I wanted to mention is as well with NoFap and semen retention. The if you're really, really addicted into it, there's definitely withdrawals that come, with that. And you start doubting your body, yourself. Like, am I really like not attractive, like at all? Like, like your body is like used to getting these dopamine hits of releasing, and now that you're not releasing, it's like, what the heck? Am I unattractive? Like, nobody wants to sleep with me? Like, what? And then you start to question yourself. That's a withdrawal. That can be a withdrawal. There's definitely many other ones. Now back to the thing that I said that I was gonna put a pin on is if you stop for a very long time, that very long time, you'll start realizing that it's all in your mind. This whole time it was all in your mind. You're perfect. Whatever you have done to yourself never took away your perfection. Your perfection was always there. Since from the very beginning, there's nothing that you can ever do that will take your perfection away. Um, it's all in your mind, and it's always been in your mind. And what else? There's something else I wanted to say. Um, so now remember, so 2 weeks of not doing anything. So that's 14 days. That is a great start. That is an absolutely just a beautiful start. After you make it to 2 weeks, 2 weeks is like the first boss. Like you're working your way to the boss. The boss fight is this. You kill the boss. You chip away the boss health. The very first boss every day. On the 14th day, you completely just killed that first boss, right? The second boss is a little bit more difficult because the second boss takes 2 months if you're still catching on, to what I'm talking about. After you pass 2 months, which is 60 days, you're good. You're good. For marijuana, for weed, 1 month is like you're good. You're really good. And in order to pass a hair test, it takes 90 days for weed. But as well, 90 days is a very long time. It's 3 months with no fap and semen retention. You really start to notice the actual true benefits after 90 days. When I made it after 90 days, I realized that I don't need this. Like, I really just, I don't need this at all. And I've been doing this for so many years that it's like, what the heck? Imagine if I didn't do any of this, any of drugs, porn. I'm glad that everything, I'm glad that I had the experience, but I'm also very, very proud of myself to be able to not, to stop, to not do any of that, not even, look at porn. It's amazing. I really, really hope that you can make it towards, it's the very first 2 weeks, right? That's the first boss. The bosses will keep coming at you. Like, they will forever, there's an infinite amount of bosses. But the very first easy one is the first 14 days. Then is the 2 months, right? Then finally, there's another one. It's the 3 months, right? And I'm just making this up. This isn't some place that this is all in my head. This is just consciousness speaking, communicating, not speaking. Um, well, yeah. Um, if you can make it past day 100, it's really just making it past day 90. Day 100 is just like, oh wow, I'm it's a 3-digit number. But as I mentioned in a very old video, it's probably not even that old, but I like the number 108, and I'm going to go back to that, by saying 108 is such a special number to me. I think 108 is like the number of chakras that you're not able to use in your body. I love that number, 108. 108 is like the number to stop, like the number to use to stop for it. I'm not making any sense. Well, I'm not making any sense if I believe that, but I'm sure that you guys understand what I'm saying. And it's you stop for 108 days with whatever you're doing: caffeine, porn, drugs, maybe even seeing a person, seeing someone. After that 108th day, feel free to go back. Feel free to look back. How people say, "Oh, once you stop doing drugs, never look back." If it's something that isn't life threatening, like a hard drug like heroin or meth or anything of that sort, if it's not life threatening, feel free to look back. Feel free to text that person back. Feel free to, if you want. I'm not telling you to do that, but just feel free to go look at porn. Feel free to release. Feel free to do any of that. After day 108, people say that it takes 66 days to kill a habit, but man, this is a long video. But after 108 days, I love that number. That's like a ritual number to me. 108, 108. It's good. But feel free to look back. You'll realize that you never needed that thing. Like, it's just a thing. It's just there. After 108 days, you realize that you can go forever with it without it. But thanks for watching this far into the video, and just keep learning and keep growing. Peace out. Love you.